leadership that truly serves. This is for millions of families across our country. This dream is absolutely a nightmare. And at the root of every problem we face is the reality of corruption, mismanagement, and dishonesty amongst those who hold the political power. Our country is suffering because of its government. There is no way around this simple fact. Without the intervention from the patriots and the people of integrity, South Africa is not going to survive. Our greatest hopes as we stand on the precipice is in the leadership that is strong enough to take on the ruling party and place South Africa back on the path of growth, stability, and peace. We need a leadership that is trustworthy, a leadership that represents all of South Africa's people, a leadership that has already proven its ability to govern, not to rule. That leadership is the leadership of the IFP. I am proud today to present the IFP's manifesto for 2021 local government elections. The IFP is a powerful voice in South Africa. Not only do we serve in the national parliament as a voice of reason, we are also an official opposition in KwaZulu-Natal, and we govern municipalities. We are therefore the strongest alternative to the ruling party for true service delivery for the people of South Africa. In terms of numbers, the IFP is the fourth largest political party in South Africa, but we are effectively the third largest political party because we are one of the three parties that actually governs in South Africa. The IFP governs at municipal level, where we administer both local and district municipalities. It is here that our fresh track record of good governance makes the IFP the best possible option for 2021 local government election. The IFP not only offers solution, the IFP is the solution. As I go through the IFP's election manifesto, you will hear something different to what you have heard from other political parties that has made their manifestos. Unlike those who will tell you what they will do if you give them your vote, the IFP is going to tell you what we have done as a demonstration of what we can and will do. Our manifesto is a record of what we have already done and what we are going to do as we campaign the people of South Africa, because we believe that a party's track record is the truest indication of its character. When other parties tell you, we will do this and we will do that, there is often no reason to believe them because For years and years, they haven't done what they constantly promise to do. It is this string of broken promises that has placed our country in a downward spiral. In 1994, you heard them say, "We will create jobs." In 1999, they said, "We will create jobs." In 2004, in 2009, in 2011, in 2014, in 2016, in 2019, and now again in 2021, they are promising you, "We will create jobs." But guess, what have they delivered? They have delivered the highest unemployment rate ever. With every election, we hear promises of renewal, of rooting out corruption, of turning the tide, and creating safer communities. But what? They have created one of the most dangerous countries in the world, particularly for women and children in South Africa. Our communities are terrorized by criminals. Young women are fearful of walking alone. Our children cannot play safely in the streets. Small businesses are targeted. Each quarter we see the crime statistics creeping upwards, and we hear endless excuses from those in charge. It seems they have forgotten that each percentage point represents real people. How many more must lose their lives or suffer severe trauma? The IFP disagrees with Police Minister Bheki when his stance is that the lockdown regulations have had a significant impact on our crime statistics. The trend is crime statistics for many years before COVID-19 shown a substantial rise in key priority crimes, and the government's response has lacked focus, strategy, and implementation. It pains me to know that South Africa is one of the dangerous countries for women and children. This is our country. These are our people, and they have been hurt and slaughtered. This must come to an end. When faced by the silent and invisible enemy of COVID-19, the ruling party mobilized South Africa's resources. Why then do they struggle to mobilize resources and protect South Africans against very real and visible criminals? That being said, the COVID-19 mobilization presented another window for opportunity for unscrupulous officials and the ruling party politicians to line their pockets. The PPE corruption procurement scandal was so widespread that the Special Investigation Unit was tasked to step in. Thousands of PPE contracts worth 14.2 billion were flagged for investigation. Patriots, the IFP is always of the first to call out the ruling party when the officials are found to have flouted regulations, whether it be at a national, provincial, or municipal level. In February this year, when residents of 10 wards at Umhlatuze local municipality went on a strike due to service delivery failures, it was the IFP that stepped up. We called for an urgent investigation into corruption at that municipality. It was also the IFP who called for calm and for residents to protest within the boundaries imposed by the law. Last year, it was the IFP that flagged the procurement of 48,000 blankets by the ruling party-led KZN Department of Social Development at a total cost of 22 million. Based on our constant pressure as the IFP in the legislature of KwaZulu-Natal, an investigation was set up. Guess what happened? When the forensic report was released, charges were laid, and it became impossible for the department to avoid the suspension of officials. That is what the IFP will continue doing. Nevertheless, the money out of those 48,000 blankets was lost, and the blankets never reached the people in need. It is tragic that under the ruling party, reports of corruption scandals have become so commonplace that they no longer shock South Africa. It is also tragic and unacceptable that there is no consequence management in our country. Officials only get paid on special leave, or they are recycled from one department to the another, but no consequence management. For years, the IFP has been calling for a specialized corruption court to deal with transgressions of the Public Finance Management Act, the Municipal Finance Management Act, and other National Treasury regulation, as well as treasury transgressions identified by the Auditor General throughout our three spheres of government. We will keep pushing for this so that in the end, South Africa will see convictions instead of endless commissions of inquiry and recommendation reports that are left to gather dust. We could talk endlessly about the many failures and shortcomings of the ruling party. But in the end, we need to talk about solutions, because that is what our country deserves. Let me therefore share with you the IFP's 10-point manifesto plan that can change the municipal governance throughout South Africa. Point 1, the IFP will lead with integrity. For 46 years, the IFP has served the people of South Africa. We have provided accountable and responsive governance to ensure that our councillors understand and abide by the IFP's principle of servant leadership. We require every candidate of the IFP to sign a contract of good governance. Each one of our 2,570 candidates will be making a following pledge to you as voters. This will be done before the 1st of November as follows. Every councillor will say, I commit myself as your local government representative to provide excellence in my service to the community. I commit to remain faithful to this contract, to implement the promises we make in our manifesto, to be free of corruption and prevent corruption, to ensure open, inclusive, and participatory governance, to serve my community to the best of my ability, utilizing all resources at our disposal, to behave both professionally and personally in a manner that is always above reproach, to be a person of integrity, to be accountable, to take your concerns seriously, to treat you with dignity and respect, to regularly consult with you and report back, to be the voice of the community in all council meetings, to always work for you and with you. Our councillors will therefore say, I pledge to always honor, uphold, defend, and protect the Constitution of all rights enshrined therein for all South Africans, and to maintain the rule of law in the local government elections. They will further say, I commit myself to honor, uphold, and to defend the vision, mission, and values of the party, the IFP. I pledge to serve my community with the utmost integrity, to honor my duty, to honor my promise to God and my country. By taking this pledge, our candidates will be committing to carry forward the legacy of our party's founder and President Emeritus, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. The founder is a true servant leader. The IFP and the world is grateful to have the guidance of such an exemplary patriot. Point 2. We will empower people. Across South Africa, 7.8 million people are unemployed. Under the ruling party, unemployment has reached a record high of 34.4%. Amongst the worst hit are our youth. The IFP believes in the power of the youth to make a difference in their communities. We believe in creating opportunities for young people, and we do not just pay lip services to this commitment. We empower the youth in all our structures, not only to contribute as members of the IFP Youth Brigade, but also by giving them seats at our tables. The late Honorable Mthokozi Sinxumalo, our chairperson of the IFP Youth Brigade, was a great example and champion of IFP youth leading the way. Not only he was our youth brigade leader, but he represented the IFP as a member of parliament in the National Assembly. He was just one of the many young leaders that the IFP has nurtured and afforded the opportunity to serve our country. We sadly still mourn his tragic passing. The IFP is a party that believes in giving people a hand up. We believe in self-help and self-reliance, and equipping people to stand on their own feet. In communities where we govern, the IFP prioritizes skills development and training. We provide bursaries to learners and students to assist them in furthering their education. Opportunities in each community must be developed to serve the people of that community. This includes women, the youth, and persons living with disabilities. Where we govern, the IFP prioritizes South Africans for job and trade opportunities. Our belief is that South Africans must come first at all times. Patriots, in this regard, the local economic development is our key focus as the IFP. Through infrastructure development and maintenance, through the provision of water, electricity, roads, and fiber, and all these key elements work together to create a conducive local environment for business and investment to create jobs where people are. The IFP will prioritize localization, industrialization, and beneficiation as key tools of creating jobs and enhancing skills and the expertise of young people to respond directly to the needs of their respective local economies. We believe in creating jobs where people are to ease the pressure on cities that are bursting at the seams because of the poor governance and local service delivery on one hand, and the revolving door of the rural-urban migration phenomenon on the other. The IFP commits to keep empowering the people wherever we govern. The IFP gets South Africa to work. The third point, we will create food security. We know that every night millions of South Africans go to bed hungry. The ruling party has failed to prioritize food security. Instead, making our people dependent on social grants that are far from sufficient to provide proper nutrition. Where the IFP governs, we support subsistence farmers by providing materials and equipment to promote local economic development. We develop cooperatives and assist emerging farmers, in particular projects led especially by women and youth. Farm workers are a key component of food security, and the IFP prioritizes their rights and the need. We support and promote the sustainable use of land and ensure the necessary access to land. The green economy in all its multiple facets is an apex priority for the IFP in ensuring food and job security. Moreover, the IFP intends to reposition agriculture in South Africa to compete favorably and supply regionally and internationally. The IFP commits to keep plowing into agriculture and land development wherever we govern. The fourth point, we partner with traditional leaders. Traditional leaders across South Africa speak on behalf of millions of South Africans, yet the ruling party often ignores or muffles their voices. The IFP recognizes the role and the importance of Amakhosi in securing good governance. We therefore support and resource Amakhosi so that they can ensure that communities' needs are met. It is a common cause that with South Africa being a wall-to-wall, ward-based municipality country, there are bound to be overlaps with traditional communities and leaders. This is an opportunity and strength wherein the interface of these two constitutional institutions of governance must work together towards the betterment of our people. Traditional leaders and traditional institutions of governance must not play a second fiddle in the developmental agenda. The IFP commits to keep partnering with traditional leaders wherever we govern in South Africa. The fifth point, we commit to make safer communities. Patriots, gender-based violence is as much a pandemic as COVID-19. Yet there is no urgency or political will from the ruling party to fund or prioritize the fight against gender-based violence. The IFP's Women's Brigade and the IFP raised their voices in defense and support of the voiceless. We fight to strengthen law enforcement and protect the survivors of the gender-based violence. We believe all people should benefit from the support of social workers, those who have been affected by GBV. Every community must have places of safety and access to treatment centers and drug rehabilitation programs. We believe in the importance of well-resourced community policing forums and are working to see the rollout of additional specialized law enforcement units to boost capacity. Gangs and syndicates cannot be allowed to terrorize our communities. Stricter border controls are also needed where our communities share borders with neighboring countries. Cross-border crimes and the movement of undocumented persons must be stopped. IFP-led municipalities will prioritize safety and the plight of women, children, and the LGBTQIA+ persons through dedicated funding for provision of required resources for crime prevention and victim support where the need arises. The IFP believes South Africa's justice system must be overhauled and restructured for the purposes of establishing municipal courts to deal with transgressions of a non-civil or criminal nature in order to ease burden on magistrate courts and other courts. This will ease the burden of our justice system and also allow municipalities to assert local justice consistent with the Constitution. The establishment of municipal police services is a key priority for the IFP. The IFP commits to keep making communities safer wherever we govern. Point 6, we will build houses. Almost 3 decades after our first democratic election, the promise of dignified housing for all has never been fulfilled. Yet the Constitution clearly states that everyone has the right to have access to adequate housing. Where the IFP governs, we facilitate and provide good quality, dignified housing to those in need and ensure that the allocation of houses is done efficiently and allocated fairly. This is what we are capable to deliver. We will carry on delivering roads and transport system to connect our communities. Patriots, housing special planning will be refocused on ensuring citizen proximity and easy access to places of work, travel, road and rail, and other socio-economic amenities. We will deliver. We will fix potholes. We will upgrade gravel roads into blacktop roads. We will deal with leakages of water throughout the municipalities, and we will ensure that the drainage system that is failing our people and the sewage that is overflowing will be dealt once and for all if the IFP is given power to govern. Human settlements run in tandem with access to land and economic activity. Point 7. We look and we will look after your health. The COVID-19 pandemic has exposed the glaring fault lines in our health system. There are not enough clinics to serve our communities. Our sick and elderly are often forced to travel long distances, and where they arrive at clinics, they face long queues and shortages of essential medication. The IFP is committed to providing well-equipped and professionally staffed clinics that are accessible to all, like in bigger cities like Durban and bigger metros. We champion the proper training and investment in medical staff, especially the nursing profession. In this way, communities will be served and much needed employment opportunities created. Basic access to primary health care will be enhanced by the provision of mobile municipal clinics, particularly in rural local municipalities. This will also include the employing of municipal nurses and health practitioners. The IFP-led municipalities will also invest in the provision of municipal ambulance services. Point 8. We provide clean water where we govern. Again, the pandemic and 27 years of mismanagement exposed the daily water challenges faced by many communities. The ruling party made plans to provide water trucks and other quick fix solutions, but these are merely short-term solutions. And we know that the delivery of water is riddled with corruption. The IFP's focus on investing in infrastructure, ensuring infrastructure maintenance, and connecting households, we believe in long-term sustainable solution on water provision. We will also make a concerted effort to prioritize fixing water leaks and drains and ensuring functional sewage system. This will also create jobs and maintain infrastructure. This is why we support the renewable energy projects. The IFP is a champion of conservation and a strong advocate of the protection of our natural resources. It was under the leadership of our founder that South Africa's first Department of Nature Conservation was established even before 1994. Our fight on behalf of wildlife, particularly rhinos and elephants, is just one aspect of our fight for the environment. The IFP commits to keep providing clean water and to keep working for the protection of the environment wherever we govern. Point 9. We provide electricity and light up your life. Without electricity, families are left in the cold and in the dark and unable to prepare food. Businesses struggle to keep their doors open. Streets are not safe, and the benefits of technology cannot be accessed. Under the ruling party, since 2008, load shedding has become a familiar facet of everyday life in South Africa. But this is unacceptable. The IFP can fix it. Patriots, the IFP prioritizes getting electricity to homes and businesses so that local economies can thrive. Our track record in the municipalities where we govern speaks of a leadership that knows how to manage resources well and how to see projects through to completion. Our next mission is to create free public Wi-Fi hubs in all our communities to get everyone connected. We are proud as the IFP to announce that the IFP-led municipalities of Abaqulusi and Mtonjaneni have paid up their Eskom debt, which is a challenge in many municipalities that provide electricity direct to our people. You will only get this from the IFP municipalities. Where the IFP governs, the IFP makes things happen. The IFP commits to keep providing electricity to homes and businesses. Last point, number 10. We build the next generation and we will continue building for the future. Our children need safe space to grow, to learn, and to thrive. This should be a priority for every South African. The IFP understands the importance of registered early childhood development centers because the children benefit and parents can confidently go to work, pursue their studies, or seek work when children are in these centers. Sports fields are equally important to the welfare of older children and give youth real hope for the future. This is why the IFP prioritizes the infrastructure wherever we govern. We also provide bursaries to poor learners and prioritize sanitary dignity for indigent schoolgirls. The IFP believes that each child must be given an opportunity to realize his or her full potential. It makes no sense when our learners have lost so much class time to COVID-19 lockdown that the government is retrenching thousands of teachers in this country. We need a leadership that will do the right thing and make good decisions for our country. The 10-point I have outlined tonight encapsulate the IFP's character and track record. There is every good reason to strengthen the IFP and to empower us in 109 municipalities we will be contesting on November 1st. Our track record of good governance speaks for itself. You can trust the IFP to deliver. I ask you, therefore, to save South Africa by voting for a strong and trusted leadership. Kubo bonke abantu baseningizimu neAfrika.
All right, so a very strong message there from the IFP President Velenkosini Hlabisa launching his party's manifesto in Durban this evening. Just a very quick summary of some of the big points that he's made, saying that the IFP is a really powerful voice in South African politics. While they're the fourth largest party in terms of governance, they're one of three parties only who actually hold municipal control. And he says that their track record speaks for themselves, slamming the ANC for breaking its promises around things like creating jobs and, of course, rooting out corruption. So